Hi, my name is Terry Jones, and I'm a senior film student within the College of Visual and Performing Arts. Today, my topic of discussion is historical trauma and the American Indian boarding school experience. My poster and video are divided into 4 parts. The first part is social worker and PhD researcher Maria Yellowhorse Braveheart's definition of historical trauma. The second part contains pertinent information about historical trauma. The third part deals exclusively with American Indian boarding schools. The fourth part is my primary research interviewing my parents, James and Alberta Jones. From 1855 to 1956, the Thomas Indian Boarding School was open on my Indian reservation in western New York State. The whole purpose of my interview is to get my parents' firsthand experiences. It is my hope that those who really know nothing about historical trauma may be able to understand it more profoundly when there's a human face and personal story attached to it. Thank you.
Want to say any more just about your definition for historical trauma before we fast forward to what you're doing now?
Yes, I define it as cumulative emotional and psychological wounding across generations, including one's own lifespan. Look what's happened to all our people, all our ancestors across time, that we're just carrying this on, and it's affecting us. And there have been horrendous things that have happened, and being survivors of massacres, like the Wounded Knee Massacre and the mass graves where those ceremonies couldn't be performed at that time.
Right.
Those are things that affect people, and that the grief and the trauma just gets carried on and on. Yeah, and in my experience with the evaluation and research we've been doing with this is that people at least perceive it as being helpful, the historical trauma concept.
Absolutely.
And they start to feel this release of pressure and like, oh no wonder I feel this way.
Exactly.
And one individual I know that is more of an elder stated that and had been in outpatient behavioral health treatment for many years, said that no one ever asked her about her boarding school trauma, and she was never able to talk about it until she started doing the historical trauma work.
Nice.
And that she really felt like this weight had been lifted off of her.
So I'm here today with my mom and dad. We live on the Seneca Nation Reservation, which is located south of Buffalo. And there was a Indian residential boarding school that was located on a reservation, which ran from 1855 to 1957. And I'm going to introduce you to my mom and dad. So if you can tell us your name and how old you were when you went into the school.
My name is Alberta Jones, and I went to the school when I was 5 years old in 1950, and I was there until I was 11 and left in 1956.
My name is James Jones, and I went to the school when I was 5 until it closed. And I went to go on after that.
And it closed in 1957, right? Do you guys remember anything in particular at being at the school, like a daily routine or Or what memories do you have, earliest memories do you have of being there?
I just remember that I was sick a lot. They sent me to the building that had the dorms and rooms of the hospital. I think it was like 3 floors. They used to do surgeries there and minor surgeries. And I had the childhood diseases, mumps, measles, yellow jaundice. So that's all a lot I remember is being in there a lot. Excuse me.
And did you have TB? No?
Yeah, I did. I think they sent me to Buffalo, and I just remember being in the crib. That's all I remember.
And you, Dad?
Oh, I just remember going to that school and going home afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And going to the dentist. Almost getting there and heard all the screaming, and we all took off and ran in the woods.
Screaming? Why were they screaming?
They weren't using Novocaine. They were just pulling teeth and using the drill on everybody. And I just remember that everybody heard that, and they all took off different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Ran to the creek.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I remember is just the bad stuff like that. I don't remember any good things.
And how old were you when you? Because you have how many brothers and sisters?
3 brothers and 3 sisters.
And you didn't know? Did you know when you were at the school when?
No, I don't remember. I just remember when I had my tonsils out that they said your sister, if you had a sister, would take care of you after you got out of surgery. I just remember my oldest sister, Gloria, being there. I don't remember what happened, or that's what I remember.
And then, so I'm going to ask you a question that came up in my class in this book that we read. And I just want to see how you guys respond to it in terms of whether it's positive or negative. When I mention something, say like justice or police, how do you feel about being American Indian and having what's your opinion on police or the justice system?
Well, to me, that the justice system against the Indian is it's not fair. They always lose, no matter what. And as far as I can remember, that it's always been that way. It's always been they lose no matter what they didn't even or they were right, it would come out wrong. So that's what I think about the justice system.
Mm-hmm. How about medical professionals? Do you have any opinion on doctors and anything like that in general?
I don't think we really get the best treatment that you would have if you had the money and you could pay for, the better, I guess, doctors. I don't know. It seemed like a lot of people say that they hire the doctors that are just coming out of school or need, I don't know how you say it. Like they're not that experienced, or they're foreign doctors and they need to get their foot in the medical field, so they put them in clinics like they're not hospitals, they're clinics. So it seemed like things have happened to people that if they had better care, they maybe would have lived longer.
Oh, the media. Like, how do you have an opinion on how they portray American Indians or reservations?
Oh, I think that they want to print the bad stuff about the Indians, and that's all you see in the paper is all the bad stuff. They don't see any good things that are said about them.
Mm-hmm. Bad stuff like what?
Oh, just drunk driving and
Not clean.
just like dirty stuff, and everything that goes along with that. It's not right.
Mm-hmm. And then one more thing. So how old were you when you left the boarding school, and then what did you do afterwards in terms of education?
I went to another children's home off the res, a Methodist home, when I was 11 till I graduated, and when I was 18, and then I went to Mount St. Mary's School in Niagara Falls for studies to be a RN, registered nurse.
And me, I didn't graduate or anything, but I worked all my life and supported my family. And I was a roofer for 25 years. I belonged to a union, and I got all the benefits from that.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I did okay for myself for not going through high school or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I left to go work.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to say was a lot that I remember when I was younger, when I had to go to the hospital to stay for a few days at a time. It used to bother me that the nurses that worked there, we'd see them leave like after their work shift, and I used to wish that I was going with them. But I missed that, and I didn't think about my parents. I just wished that I was going with them when they left. That's a lot that I remember. Maybe because I was in the hospital, sometimes I was isolated. So that's a lot that I remember about that.
Okay. Well, thanks for helping me on my project.
Okay, you're welcome.
Love you guys.
Yeah. Right back at you.